One of the things I loved about Esther's presentation is that she's challenging us as leaders. And we are all business leaders. And sometimes when I talk, I hold many hats in our industry, in many forums. So when I talk to leaders, I always tell them, the biggest undoing you can do to yourself is to think you'll be there for forever. Sindio? Situambiani ukweli? So you always have to challenge ourselves to do your best for this generation. And in our group, we say, tenda wema, nenda zako. Tenda wema. So as a chairman, as a CEO, as a board member, Bwana Sigei, ukiuko imarisha, tenda nema, nenda zako. So in Kenya, one of the things I will talk about is investments. Why we are seeing very high flows of money and delegations in Kenya is because of what? Who can give me that answer? And it's on your screen. It's just demographics. That's why the center or the concentration in Africa, the number one country leading for that interest is who? Is Kenya. And the biggest thing or the biggest weight we have is the fact of what you're now calling demographic capital. And today is a very unique day. Kuna ile maneno inaendelea huko nje. But that demographic capital is talking about age. That 50% of the members in Kenya are hovering between, if you took the statistics today and cut them into two, let me show you a small slide before I jump to my presentation. If you pick the statistics of Kenya and picked our 59 million people and cut them into two, the average age is 20 years. Can you imagine? That tells you that we who are above 20 by far, mambo yetu iko inaisha, si ndio? So you have a very small window to make impact. And for us, it's just to look at that demographic. Now, this slide will tell you about your own Sacco. Esther talked about it. You have to innovate. You have to move. Motorohi is talking about what you're doing. Some of you are way ahead of most commercial banks in terms of even issuance of cards, how you're able to get money from your members. So as CEOs especially, keep challenging yourselves, focus on your demographics, and especially bringing out the youth. For me, I'll just talk about Co-optrust quite quickly. This is why I'm privileged to be a team leader. Co-optrust is 100% owned by the Bank of Kenya. The Bank of Kenya, Bank of Kenya, and now Co-op Bank Group PLC, which will be coming out in a couple of months as we wait for the approvals by the authority. But one of the things, Joyce, we always pride ourselves is the story of the bank. Si nyinyi ni watu wa movement. So the story of the bank, you remember how it's told, how the group of Wazayas could not get loans from the big banks in the 50s. And those Wazayas, we are told, went to the agriculture minister then to ask for, we want to form our own bank. And those Wazayas were asked to go and raise 500,000 so they can form their own bank, so they can support each other. And after 3 years, those Wazayas came back and they only had 250,000. And through the grace of people, the late President Emilio Kibaki, who was the finance minister then, the government was able to grant them another 250. And that's how the movement bank was formed. That's why, delegates, when we say we are you, hapo ndipo tulitoka. So it's a story which we are very proud, and what we have built over close to 60 years now is what people are really trying to, really admire, and they're trying to build on. And for us, our work is to safeguard it and, of course, ensure the best we can. Co-optrust is 100% owned by the bank. We manage assets on behalf of our stakeholders. There are many clients I know here. Noble Sacco, Winner Sacco, Mentor Sacco, Imarisha, Imarika, Kwetu Sacco. I mean, most of you, we've interacted across with my team, and I'll introduce them as I close. But that business which we are running on your behalf is now the second largest asset manager in Kenya. Simutupigie makofi tafadhali. Who knew that a small cooperative investment company can be the second largest investment house in East and Central Africa. Si Mungu ni mwema? Si Mungu ni mwema? So now we are holding over 521 billion as of January 2026. If you look at the universe, we have mainly pension scheme assets. If you look at the banking deposits there, just a slide to give you the entire universe, you'll see the likes of pension schemes is about 3 trillion now. It's such a big force. That's why you're seeing even our dear president, he cannot ignore that sector. SACCOs, you are there at number 3 now. We are heading to 1.3 trillion, which is what the movement has been able to amass. And of course, cut across that, you'll see them in different schemes. Collective investment schemes, this is unit trust. Utaona now is becoming almost $1 trillion. And part of that money is also double counted because most of the SACCOs are also investors there in terms of putting money on investment services. I mean, in terms of collective investment schemes, which the CEOs will tell you is part of the investments most SACCOs have. That's the growth of your asset management company, Co-op Trust Investment Services. We have not always been there. Chairman, we have not always been there. So when we see ourselves move all the way from 28 billion less than 10 years ago to now number 2 in the market at 507 billion, we are really grateful for your support. And we continue, as Director Marango mentioned, continue supporting the movement just to make sure that we keep things well run. In terms of market share, Co-op Trust, we are managing about 21% of what you'd call pension scheme assets, which is the market share we are talking about. In terms of specific products, again, my position is very brief because I'm just supporting Edward and Motrorio on this particular agenda. Kuna ile maneno inaitwa money markets. We are really waiting for the SACCOs who want to become money market offerers. Because as Co-op Bank, our work is to make the SACCOs flourish. If your members are happy, as Edward mentioned, then we are also happy. So we have a money market that you're able to form. Feel free to come and plug in, have it marked out, have it branded, have it called Mentor Sacco, have it called Imarisha Sacco, money markets, and you'll be able to run it for you, just like we've done it for other players in the market. We have grown. Now we are heading to almost 30 billion on the Co-op unit trust. It's not been a small journey. In terms of unit holders, we are now at almost close to 35,000 unit holders. We closed the year at 22,000 unit holders. That growth, my dear shareholders, and I keep on calling you shareholders because I know most of you are also owners of Cooperative Bank. And one of the things sometimes I like talking to people is, as much as you're chasing investments, you have to also look at your own brand. If, for example, the price of Co-op Bank shares last year, when you were standing here, what was the price? Who can guess? We were at 17 shillings on the stock market. Where are we today? 35, 36, over 100% growth. Plus, there was dividend paid out in December, na kuna ingine ilikuja, just over a week ago. So members, look also inwardly to make sure that you're also not ignoring what is within reach and what is within access, especially for you who we call our shareholders. Co-op Trust has grown mainly because of you, and this is what we call about maximum shareholder value. The small company we're seeing there now from all the way from 28 million profitability 10 years ago. Chairman, now we are heading to 1.4 billion. And again, that is your money. I've seen most delegates have stood up. That is your money, and please support us just to make sure we continue doing business. In that life, we have won many awards. We have won, for the last 5 years, we have won 3 years in a row, the Europe and Middle East Africa Best Asset Manager Award. And for us, we are very happy to stand here and tell you that we are serving many clients. We are serving clients who, even before, we could not even imagine that we can serve high delegates, especially what we call very complicated, very structured clients. So our basis is a very strong structure in terms of performance, which is the character of the organizations. We talk to ourselves about the team. We are a very technical team, as you may imagine, especially for the ones we've seen in your boardrooms as you go through the journey of investment in bonds, investment in shares. You'll find a very strong team of what we call charter holders, actuarial scientists like myself. You'll find a lot of CPAs, you'll find a lot of BComs, you'll find a lot of statisticians in that team. And their work is nothing else. Mambo ni kuangalia vile maneno itakuwa next year, and that way they're able to advise you where to place your money. Especially for stocks, especially for government bonds, even just year to date, stocks like Coop Bank between January and close of yesterday had done 43% return. If you are a delegate, if you are MD of a Sacco, and you're able to demonstrate 40% return on investments, then your work is done, and you always move on to the next thing. So please tap onto us. We are a phone call away. We offer free advice. Then, of course, we try and help with the execution, especially for the schemes which we are holding their pension assets. I know we have quite a number of them, including Mentor Sacco. Again, last year the returns were very high. We got levels of 26% return. 2024, again, another 32% return. So sometimes when we see members diverting money away, we also are a bit surprised in terms of, are we not aware of what kind of returns we are posting? So we've tasked ourselves to make sure we communicate, to make sure that we come out and we're able to explain things to you, and you're able to see the value you're able to add. So last year as well, 27.9%. We have quite a number of them also who are on the umbrella fund for the Corp Trust, which delivered 25% return. And we, even this year, vile maneno iko, we are still seeing a very strong year in terms of investment returns. Again, the team, as mentioned, very high professional people who are able also to talk to you and also make sure they're able to explain things clearly, starting off with myself. I know Sam, the head of business development, is there, and he'll be with you and his team. Sam, you can stand for them to see you. That gentleman was not here in the morning. He's called Sam Gige. He's the head of business development and client service in Co-op Trust. Simpigie makofi tafadhali. So that man can speak many languages. He can speak to you in Sigei, in what you understand better, if it comes to that. He can speak to you in Kirinyaga, if you want, just to make sure that we are able to communicate, because our work and why we are employed is to make sure that our shareholders and the people who own the money are able to resonate with us, and we are able to offer value for them. If we have no value to offer for you, then of course we are in the wrong job. So we have a very qualified team which will be able to take you through that. But to talk about the investment products, we launched COP Unit Trust less than 5 years back. My dear shareholders and members, within 4 years, chairman, we are now number 8 in the market. That's how strong the brand is. Within 4 years now, we are at 8th in the market, heading to 30 billion. And very soon, because of the strength of our brand, we are going to catch up, even with our sister. We have CIC, who's also our sister, and they have been leaders in this market for quite some time. So for us, is also to try and catch up and offer value. And we don't shy away from competition, because we are able to offer diverse marketing services. We are able to offer different services from different organizations. We have the money markets there at 8.6. The graph has been up and down. In 2024, when the rates were at levels of 15, the money markets were at 15. Now rates have gone down to levels of 8.6, 7.5. But as at last night, things have started picking up, especially as we close the year. In terms of bond fund as well, this is now for the more patient money, especially Sacco money, which you can take 6 months. Money market is easy because once you put in money, especially for the financial directors and CEOs, is money you can pull out within a day. But the bond fund, you're able to put money and you have to keep it there for about 6 months, but the yield is higher. And as it is right now, we are talking about just below 11%. And if that is not available for you, we have what we call the Sacco Wealth Management product. This is where most of the Saccos now are able to tailor the funds according to what they want. And we'll work with you in those applications from primary bonds. We'll do it for you. We'll show you the best interest rates. I'm also privileged to sit in the Central Bank MLF committee, which we were having one of the meetings yesterday, and we meet every month just to decide which treasury instruments to use. And in that journey, we are able to come to a Sacco and tell you, this is the money you're willing to spend aside. You have 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. We can help you invest in these bonds. And some of these bonds, like the one that closed yesterday, which was only open for almost just for 3 hours, closed at 14.86%. Right? For the next how many years? 22 years. For the SACCOs we've worked with, you remember in 2023 and 2024, when they were issuing a 10-year bond at 19%. And all the SACCOs which listened to us, they were able to lock in that bond at 19%. And for us, that's the value we offer for you. That when it is time, and because seasons come and change, and you have to grab the opportunity. I keep on telling people, opportunity meets the who? The prepared. Fortune favors the brave. You must be that tuned to know when to jump in and when to jump out. So for the bond instruments, we're able to sit down with you, help you in the applications. If you have liquidity needs as well, because of the 520 billion we manage, we are able to even help you exit some of those bonds and of course sustain the value and make sure you don't lose value. So for us, it's we have an open door policy. Feel free to come to us, call on us. We are truly here as your employees to support you. Bond valuation, again, even for the most technical bits, we can break it down for you, which we've done in the last couple of years. One of the products we are really promoting, even personally, and especially the people who I talk to, we always make sure that you know your business leaders, you're the chairperson, you are the CEO, but you also must walk that journey. Also make use of that information you have for your own personal investment. Some of those people who have listened to us, and one of the few people I can see in the room, who we agreed to buy Co-op Bank last year, and they are smiling all the way because of that 100% return. Na akitaka leo nafunga hiyo chapter, nauza hiyo share, na anaenda maneno ingine. So we also have the money market products. We also went very digital. If you open your Co-op Bank app, you see a tab on the extreme right bottom, which is the invest tab. So you're not a member of any investment or unit trust. Just click there and walk through what will take you not less than 5 minutes to open up a money market account, open up a bond fund, open up what we call a gratuity fund, especially for the employers who are on gratuity, and you start your saving journey. So we're also making it easier because of the youth that is coming up. You are a click away from these products, so please make use of them as board members. Again, just as I went up, Director mentioned we just came from Brazil. One of the things we have as a movement and leaders of the movement is a way to uplift our generation. And for us, we still hold Agri very closely to us. We went to Brazil and there's a conference. We had a few Sacco members who came. I know Yedongori was we were there with almost close to 6 board members. But in total, we had almost close to 94 delegates from different walks of life. Some of them are very corporate. Some of them are very business driven. But they came with us, and what you're trying to do is have an agri fund which can speak to what our generation has largely left behind, especially to the youth. Food security will be a big issue in the future. And for us, we want to do an agri fund which people are able to tap into, people are able to have a livelihood, and you're able to uplift their incomes as they come. So when this fund is done, Joyce, you'll allow us to market to KETSA so that you can be able to put in money. You'll be able to earn a fixed income rate of about 14%. You'll be able to own some of those companies, some of those agricultural companies which will end up being owned by this fund, and agribusiness especially, just to make sure that we are supporting our generation and that we are able to do the best we can at this particular season. So for me is to say asante sana. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the wishes. I think I know quite a number of you here. Last year when I stood here, we were 324 billion. Now delegates, we are at 507 billion. And we really thank you for that support. And we pray that mutendelee kushikilia na maombi, mutendelee kutu support as we do our work, as we also pray for you in your respective roles. Mungu abariki sana. Asante.